Hi, 7th grade. Today we are going to solve multi-step equations to find the missing variable. Let's take a look at example 1. 13 plus 4x is equal to negative 3. Now, the goal of solving equations is always to get our variable by itself. Right now I have 13 plus 4x is equal to negative 3, and I only want to know what x equals. Now, since this is an equation, I need to keep both sides balanced. I want to keep my variables on one side of this equal sign and my constants, or numbers without variables, like 13 or negative 3, on the other side. So in order to get x by itself, I need to move this positive 13. I need to move it to this side of my equal sign because I need to have something set equal to 4x. So to get rid of positive 13, I'm going to subtract 13. And what I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 13 from the right side of my equal sign. So these 13s cancel out, and I have 4x is equal to, now I want to think about this because I have some negatives and positives, and it's probably not as easy as just looking and seeing the answer. So I'm going to write it out. This is the same thing as negative 3 minus 13, which is just like that fluency practice we've been doing. Another way to write this is negative 3 plus negative 13. So that tells me my answer has to be negative because I have two negative numbers, and I'm adding them together because I have same signs. I have two negatives. So 13 plus 3 is 16. 4x is equal to negative 16. To get x by itself, I'm dividing both sides by 4. Because when I have a number right next to a variable, it's multiplication. I want to do the opposite of that, which is division. So I divide both sides by 4, and x is equal to negative 4. Now, if you just put positive 4, you would not get the correct answer because negative 4 and positive 4 are not the same thing. We need to remember our negative signs. All right, we got one more example to do together. 2x plus 5 minus 7x is equal to negative 20. Before I move any numbers, I'm just going to combine like terms. I have 2x and I have negative 7x that are on the same side of the equal sign. They're both on the left side. So I'm going to combine them. 2x minus 7x, that's the same thing as 2x plus negative 7x, which gives me negative 5 because I have different signs, so I'm subtracting. So I have negative 5x plus 5 is equal to negative 20. Because I just bring down this positive 5 because I haven't moved it at all and I need to keep it in my equation. Set it equal to negative 20. I've also just brought that down. So now I want to get x by itself. So I need to move my constants. I want to always undo my addition and subtraction before I multiply or divide. So I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. Because the opposite of adding 5 is subtracting. So I have negative 5x is equal to, now again, we want to be careful because we have two negative numbers. This is the same thing as negative 20 minus 5. Another way to write that is negative 20 plus negative 5. That tells me my answer has to be negative because I have two negative numbers. And I'm adding them together because 20 plus 5 is 25. Now again, I'm going to divide because I'm trying to get rid of my multiplication. So I divide both sides by negative 5. Again, I have to divide by the exact same number that's in front of my variable. So if it's negative here, it needs to be negative here. So x is equal to, a negative divided by negative is positive. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Again, if I put that negative sign when my answer should have been positive, would not be the correct answer. Make sure you double check your work to make sure you have the correct signs. When you finish your independent practice, go on to ST Math.